Hello everyone and welcome to Victoria's Cantina. Well my friends, as the title says, the Hasbro Jurassic World toy line is over. Done. Finished. So long and thanks for all the fish and all that jazz. I was going to do a video today on this guy right here, the First Order Stormtrooper 6-inch figure by Hasbro as well. But I stumbled upon some information that I thought warranted putting that review on hold, till tomorrow or next week or sometime. The items you see before you all tie into what I am going to share with you. Anybody who's been watching my Jurassic World reviews all the way since early May is going to be familiar with some of the issues here. And to get the full picture here, let's go back to early June. On June 2nd, Victoria's Cantina was the first YouTube channel to review the Hasbro Growler assortment Dilophosaurus. I had ordered it directly, along with the Ceratosaurus, from HasbroToyShop.com, straight from the manufacturer's online store, and I received my Dilophosaurus missing the projectile that goes into its mouth. I contacted Hasbro customer service, and they were expedient in their reply in offering to replace the Dilophosaurus with a brand new one that would contain the missing missile. They said I could keep my original one. Within a week, I get a second Dilophosaurus, and this one did come with the projectile. So at that point, it becomes a little bit clear that there are some sorts of issues with Hasbro's Jurassic World line. But, I get my replacement. I'm happy. On June the 8th, we reviewed the Hasbro Jurassic World Chomping Tyrannosaurus Rex, and I am holding it here with my hand because it does not stand. Because I felt that the quality of the product was insufficient, I contacted Hasbro customer service, not Hasbro Toy Shop customer service, which I had with the Dilophosaurus, but Hasbro customer service directly. And, I just wanted to give them some feedback about what I thought about the toy, let them know that it doesn't stand, the feet warp quite easily. They got back to me fairly quickly, and they told me that they would forward my comments to their design team and that they would replace the Chomping T-Rex at no charge. And they said that if a Chomping T-Rex was not available, that they would substitute it with a similar item at their discretion. So I'm like, okay, well, hopefully that doesn't happen, but, hopefully we get the Chomping T-Rex. And shortly thereafter, we did get another Chomping T-Rex. Sadly, it was the same exact thing. It simply would not stand. I even did the blow dryer trick where you heat up the legs to kind of reshape them, and then you rinse it in cold water to kind of hold the position. That worked initially for a few minutes, and then it started falling over again. So, there's clearly issues with the Jurassic World toy line, and it didn't take me figuring this out with the Chomping T-Rex to discover that. But in terms of maintaining a timeline for the purposes of this video, it was an instance where I had firsthand experience with a problem with a Jurassic World product and had to contact Hasbro about it. Now fast forward a few months to September the 3rd, I received my shipment in of the Hasbro Jurassic World Growler Wave 3 assortment, which included the 4 Velociraptor sisters. If you saw my review, then you know that Velociraptor Charlie had some pretty big issues. Firstly, she is missing the stripes on one side of her body. If you turn her around like this, you can see that these stripes are present right there on that side, but they're not there on that side. So I was like, okay, that's not good. And then furthermore, she has this very ugly seam there in her head. It's just pretty atrocious looking, and not to mention that the paint is very sloppy around her mouth. So I contacted Hasbro customer service and I said, hey, I just bought a case of your Velociraptors, sent them some photos of Charlie, sent them a copy of my sales receipt from Big Bad Toy Store, and I inquired as to whether or not they could replace it for me because, I'm forgiving when it's just minor issues with the product, but, I think this is pretty inexcusable, especially when you're shelling out, to buy the whole case of dinosaurs. I even already had Velociraptor Blue, but I really wanted to get these Raptors, so I bought the whole case. A wise man once said, I don't blame people for their mistakes, but I do ask that they pay for them. And that brings us to where we are today with the Hasbro Jurassic World toy line. So as soon as I came across this issue, the first thing I did was I contacted Hasbro and to see if they could help me out with a replacement for the defective Charlie. And throughout this process, I was helped by Jason, who was very cordial, very polite. He worked hard to get my issue resolved, even though, as you'll see, it wasn't resolved exactly favorably. He was very helpful, so I do got to throw that out there. Anyhow, I contacted Hasbro about the issue with some photos of the defective Growler and a copy of the sales receipt from Big Bad Toy Store, and they got back to me. Said, we appreciate you taking the time to share your concerns. We will share your feedback with our product team. Since your satisfaction is our goal, I will send you a replacement. If the exact item is not available, substitution may be made at Hasbro's discretion. Your new product will arrive shortly. And then they asked for a few pieces of information that I provided to them. And, there's that line again. If the item is not available, substitution may be made. As this wasn't an issue in the past, I didn't really think too much of it. I expected that I would get my Charlie Growler, but it just so happens that I did not. Yep, it was definitely not what I had in mind. Hasbro sent me this Jurassic World Hero Mashers, which I don't even collect Hero Mashers. I know about them a little bit, only from what I've read on forums and from what I've seen in stores, but I don't do Hero Mashers. This just simply is not my thing. So I thought there must be some sort of mistake. I'm like, why am I getting this Hero Masher set? So I contacted Jason once again and I said, what can you do to help me get the Charlie Growler? And he responded and said that the order was placed for the same item you have, but regrettably it is no longer available, and that is why an alternate item was sent. Unfortunately, we are not getting additional inventory for the Jurassic World Growler Velociraptor Charlie. So I was like, why? This is a brand new item. It's just released. Why wouldn't they be getting more inventory of it? So I replied back again and I said, hey, do you guys have any Dimorphodons perhaps that you can send me? I mean, that's the only Growler that I hadn't yet purchased. And he responded, as a one-time courtesy, I placed a back order for you of the Dilophosaurus, which of course I have. But again, it says, regrettably, I can't guarantee its availability. If the exact item is not available, substitution may be made. But it should be in the same category, so I'm like, okay, well, at least it'll be a Growler, hopefully, and not a Hero Mashers. So, yeah, here we are. I thought, okay, well, why can he back order a Growler Dilophosaurus, which is an older product, it's been out for several months, but not a Velociraptor Charlie, which is, quite new. And so I thought I'm going to press him for a little bit more information. And I said, thanks for your willingness to help me out. I appreciate your help, even if it isn't exactly what I needed. I will check to see if I can get it locally. And so I asked him, have those been discontinued? And does Hasbro have additional plans for the Jurassic World line beyond what has already been released? I just wanted to see what he was going to say. Victoria, I was happy to help. Regarding the Jurassic World product line, this line is not currently in production, and I have no information regarding additional product release for the remainder of 2015. This line is currently not in production. So what does that mean? It means that Hasbro is no longer making Jurassic World toys. It means that whatever is currently in distribution, whatever Hasbro has in their warehouses, whatever the stores have in their warehouses or in their back rooms, that's it, directly from the horse's mouth. Hasbro telling me that the line is not currently in production. Now, as far as what he says about additional product release for the remainder of 2015 with no information on that, that can mean a number of things. It can mean that he genuinely doesn't know if anything's going to be coming out for the rest of the year. But if there's nothing in production, I'm pretty certain that it means that nothing is going to be available later in the year, which if the Jurassic World line has in fact been as profitable as Hasbro has led us to believe, then it strikes me as quite odd how they wouldn't have any product available for the holiday season. It could also mean that maybe Jason does know about product that's coming and he simply cannot say, which, would be understandable. Or it could also mean that whatever new line they have coming is going to get a head start for the holiday season, or more likely, maybe after the holiday season, once all the old stuff is cleared out. But as far as that goes, that's just speculation on my part. I don't think anybody really has a definite answer for that. But for the first part here where he says the line is not currently in production, that is very telling, and that's it. We've seen whatever we were ever going to see for the Jurassic World toy line. So what does that mean for us as collectors? What does that mean for you? Well, it means if you've been holding back on that Mountain Dew Tyrannosaurus repaint, or if you've been holding off on that Dimorphodon Growler, you should probably go back and pick that up, because there's really no telling how much longer these items are going to be available for us to purchase. Items like the Growlers Wave 3, like the Raptors, you're probably going to have a very difficult time obtaining them. I hit 2 Toys R Us stores this morning in search of a replacement Charlie. I called a third one, and one Toys R Us store didn't even have a Jurassic World line anymore. All they had was a few pegs that they stuck like next to Transformers and some other stuff. The second one did have a pretty good selection still, but they didn't have any pegs for the Growlers line. It seems like they weren't even carrying the Growlers anymore. The third store that I called, which actually did have these Raptor Growlers in stock last weekend, told me they didn't have them anymore. So if you're wanting to get these Raptors, make a concerted effort to either order them online or to go out and get them in the stores, because they are going to be very, very hard to come by. It sounds like there probably isn't a whole lot of production available on them. The other thing is that this is going to mean for you is that if you're after the Wave 4 Bashers and Biters that contains the Velociraptor Blue with the launching thing on its shoulder, or the Indominus Rex, that you're probably going to have a hard time finding them. In fact, I think I'm just going to go ahead and order them off Big Bad Toy Store, because they're there for pre-order. It says they're available September. Better safe than sorry at this point. I mean, it seems like Toys R Us, which was the first store in my area to start carrying the Jurassic World line, is kind of finished with them. And I imagine that the other stores like Walmart and Target, which are actually pretty well stocked for the most part, especially Walmart lately, it seems like they're probably going to start phasing these out. I kind of feel like whatever Toys R Us does with the product line, we can kind of expect that to happen at Walmart and Target, especially since Toys R Us is more of a specialty shop, and they tend to give toys a little bit more of a chance than Walmart or Target does. A lot of the time with the last wave of a product line, the final waves are almost impossible to find. As a longtime Star Wars collector, I am very familiar with this. You're either going to find it blown out on clearance at Ross or Marshall's or TJ Maxx a year from now, or you're going to luck out and find them somewhere. Or they could just be outright canceled. I think that's probably unlikely, and I don't want to jump to that. But, it's important to examine all the possibilities here for anyone who is a serious Jurassic World, Jurassic Park collector. It is also quite clear that there have certainly been some significant production and quality control issues with the Hasbro Jurassic World toy lineup. That is no secret. Anyone who has watched my reviews, or anyone else's reviews that does Jurassic World pretty heavily, knows that there are quite a few issues with this line. Many of them stem out of simple quality control issues like paint and action features that don't function properly. A lot of them are more severe issues. They're like balancing issues and just issues with the overall design and engineering that prevents the items from functioning as they should. Of course, you also have cost issues like screw holes and lack of paint. And I think and I hope that ultimately the Jurassic World line is going to go down as the worst Jurassic Park film-based line to date. And I say hope because I'm really hoping that for the Jurassic World 2 or Jurassic Park 4 movie, that Hasbro is going to finally get on board and pay a little more attention to the collector segment of the fandom out there, and finally make toys that collectors can enjoy as well, because everything for Jurassic World has been aimed primarily at children, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but given the quality issues that we've gotten, some of these items probably wouldn't be a whole lot of fun for children either. So it's my hope that with the next film we get some human figures, we get some properly designed dinosaurs that look great, maybe have the realistic skin, have nice action features, more production quality and production value, and are just more collector friendly all the way around. So, we can hope and we can dream, and, hopefully we get what we want. We'll just have to wait and see. All right, you guys, so all that being said, it doesn't mean that Jurassic World toys are completely done. Reliable sources seem to indicate that the line is going to continue into 2016. Whether or not that includes any repacks from the current line remains to be seen, though it is continually looking like that is probably not going to be the case. All indications seem to point to a Jurassic World Hybrids line for 2016 that may or may not extend past the spring of next year. Now, as to when that line is going to hit, I have no idea. It's possible that this new line might start hitting retail in time for the holidays, or it's possible that it might be something that we don't see until after the holidays, as is often the case for new product lines as well as spin-off lines from an existing product line. We really don't know at this point. All we know is that it looks like hybrids are going to be happening for the Jurassic World 2.0 toy line. So like I said, better safe than sorry. We know that current Jurassic World products are completely finished with production. If there's something you want to buy from this line, buy it on site. Don't be too picky with paint jobs, because it might be the very last time you ever see one of these products on the shelf at your local store. Alright my friends, if you enjoyed this video, I encourage you to like and subscribe. Let me know down in the comments what you think about all this. And as always, I want to thank you for watching Victoria's Cantina. Until next time, bye-bye.